Hello everybody, I'm going to be doing different piping tips. So I've got various different piping tips here. Then I'm just going to do a couple different things to show you guys a couple different ways that I border cakes with all these piping tips. A few of them I actually just got in the mail, so I'm really excited to try them. I haven't even tried this one or this one yet, so looking forward to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with a few that I've used before. So I'm going to start with this guy right here. So this is my favorite piping tip. I use this one a lot on cupcakes, but I'm just going to do a few different types of piping ways that you can use this tip. So the most popular whenever you're doing cupcake is just a little swivel. So down and around, and then up. That's my most favorite for a cupcake. And then a few different drop ones. You can just squeeze, press, and lift. Those are pretty popular sometimes on my number cakes. And then if you're doing a border, this is my favorite one, just do a little rope. So just a little up and around. Just like that. So this one is probably my most favorite. This one's from Ateco, and I can get the piping tip number if anybody wants that. So that's this one right here. So I'm just gonna scrape this all up. Okay, so this is probably my next favorite. This one is Ateco. It's a 855. So it's a little bit of a wider opening compared to your Wilton 1M. So you can kind of see the difference. This one's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit more of an open star, whereas this one's a little bit more of a closed star. And so I like this one a lot because I like how open it is. It makes it easier to frost cupcakes. So same concept if we're gonna frost a cupcake, it's just kind of up and around. And this one makes really pretty rosettes. So I like how this one's more open for the rosette. So that's that. And then if we're just gonna go up like we're doing a cupcake, we'll just kind of come up just like a little mound. Still, same concept, really pretty. I like this one a lot too. And then a really fun border, same concept of the last one, the French step. Just kind of a little up and around motion. And then another really popular one is just the classic, just like this. So those are pretty fun. Now the drop tip that I used for the other one, kind of the same concept, just kind of pressing down. And this one I like to twist it. It kind of makes like a little flower shape. So I'll do that again. Twist. So just like that. So that one's really fun if you put like a little color in the middle of it to make it look like a little bit more like a real flower. But again, this is probably my second favorite piping tip that I use. So I'm just gonna scrape this all up and we'll go on to the next one. Also, I am getting frosting absolutely everywhere at the moment, so I'll just clean that up later. Okay, so we just did more of an open star, and then now I'm going to show you guys the Wilton 1M, which is probably the most popular Wilton tip. See, that's a little bit more closed, so you'll see a little bit of a difference when we do kind of like the rosette, and it's also a little bit smaller whenever you're piping up for a cupcake. So I'll start with the rosette. So you can see how much smaller this one is. So this one, if I want a full rosette, I really got to go around like maybe three, sometimes 3.5 times to really get a big open rosette, compared to the other one that I just used, which was just 1.5 times around. Now if we're going up for a cupcake, same concept. I like to go a little bit wider to build a bigger base because it is a smaller tip. And then just kind of go up like that. And then again, the classic piping border is just kind of up like this. And then my new favorite that I like to do is kind of like a zigzag back and forth. I just started doing that one, so just like a little side to side action like this. That one's been really fun to play with here lately too. And then if you want like the most classic border that you can possibly get, I like to do this a lot on my Italian cream and my carrot cakes. Is just a little up and around and then come down. And then we're gonna go the opposite direction. So we went this way and we're gonna go that way. Up and around, and then you just kind of keep going. So I like to use this one a lot on my more classic cakes. And then again, if you wanna do a drop, just kind of like a little drop, just like that. So that one's nice and easy. Like I said, this is the Wilton 1M. Probably the most popular piping tip that I see from a lot of people. A lot of people really love this one. It's a really good beginner one, and a good staple one. So, I mean, if you're frosting cakes, this is probably one of the #1 tips that I would recommend to have in your kitchen. So, those are the ones that I've all worked with before. So, I'm just going to scrape this up. Try not to make a mess. And then I have 2 new ones that I want to show you guys. We got this guy right here. Let's see. An ateco 882 is what this one is, and I've never used this one before. This one's used a lot for classical pastries. I'm probably going to say this wrong, but I think it's a Saint Henri. Definitely saying that wrong. Have our consulting on that one for sure. But this one, see, it's skinny right here, bigger right here. So it's meant to kind of go around like the edge of the cake, kind of like this. That's so cool. So like I said, I have not used this one before, but that's pretty fun. And so, yeah, I've also seen it gone around a cake. Okay, I'm going to try this, but it probably won't work. But we're just going to try anyway. So it's going to start with just little, you kind of go back and forth like this. I've seen this a lot. It's pretty cool. This one's definitely has to take some practicing to get used to. As you can tell, it's not quite as smooth as the other ones. But I would say this is probably more of an advanced piping tip compared to the last that I just showed you. But I really like this one right here. So you'll probably start seeing that one on a few of my cakes coming up because that's really, really pretty. So yeah, so that was fun. That's a new one to me, so I'm just gonna scrape that up. Last but not least is this big boy right here. Look how cool that is. So this one I have seen a lot on Instagram here lately, and I've really wanted to try it. And so let's see. This is again an ateco. It is 796. So this guy is literally huge. But the cool part about this one, it's got the outside ring and then it's got an inside ring. So the only frosting that's coming out is this little ring right here. So I've seen it used a lot on macaroons where they pipe it and then they use this open center to fill it. So this probably is, I've seen a lot of videos of people failing on using this one, so this probably may not work out very well, but let's give it a try. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. So you can see how this little middle part leaves that part open. So whenever people use it on the macaroons, they'll then take a filling and they'll fill it in right here and then they'll smush the 2 macaroons together. This one I think is also really popular with meringues. So baking meringues, so little meringue cookies. But this one's just really big on applying a lot of pressure and then lifting up. Again, this one's gonna take a lot of practice I think to get used to because I've never used anything like it before. Oh, that was a good one, okay. But yeah, that one's kind of fun. I don't quite know what I'm going to use it for, but I was doing a big piping tip haul because I dropped a lot of piping tips down the garbage disposal, so I figured, why not? That one could be fun. So there's that one. And then I'm actually going to pull out one more that I didn't originally plan to use, but I figured it's a good one that most people have probably seen before. I'm going to have to fill the bag up real quick, but we've just got like a little basic round piping tip. This will be my last one, so let me just fill it up real quick. So, like I said, this one's just your typical open tip. Now, this is the tip that I use on all of my number cakes. So, all the number cakes that you see the piping in between the cake around the actual letters and numbers themselves, this is a tip that I'm using. So this is a Wilton 1A. So again, one of the most popular ones. So let's see. So whenever I do my number cakes, I literally it's like just a little drop. It's a little drop and a little pull. So drop and pull. This is really good for meringues as well if you're gonna bake meringues, but this is how I do my number cakes. And then if we're going to do like a little border, now this one's kind of big if you're doing a border around a cake, but we're just going to go with it. There are smaller sizes just like this that you can, but it's the same concept. So just a little up, down, and drag motion. that right there. And then just like a little, if you're doing like a cupcake, just a swirl up and around. Oh, that one's really, really ugly. I'm gonna do that one again. So, up and around, same concept as the other one, smoothing it out of the top. Now don't do this one in chocolate frosting because it will look like the poop emoji, trust me. I have done that a few times and bad choice. But again, that one's pretty basic. So if you're beginning decorating, you definitely want to get that tip right there. So, scrape this up, and then I'll go over the piping tips just one more time, just so you guys have them. And then I'll drop the numbers and the brands that I'm using, so you guys can reference back to this. So, we started with my favorite tip, which is this guy right here. I can't find... I think it's hidden by some frosting, but I will get this number for you guys. But it is of the Ateco brand. So that's the first one that we worked with. The second one, that's probably my second favorite, is this guy right here. So a little bit more of an open star. And then we've got your closed star, which is your Wilton 1M. I know this one by heart. Everyone should have this piping tip if you are decorating cakes literally at all. This one's a lifesaver. And then we went to this new fun one. That created that cool like zigzag pattern. Again, this is a Ateco brand. Again, I'll put the number once I'm done. And then this super fun one right here. This one's really, really big. So, it's that. And then the last one we did was the little circle one. Again, if you're beginning, this is a must-have. So, I'll go ahead and say that this is probably from the simplest all the way down to the most complex. So if you're starting out, I definitely start along with these three. So good sections, you've got the open round, you've got the French tip, you've got a more of an open star, and then a closed star tip. And these two are a little bit more advanced. Again, I haven't even used them until I just wet them out today. But yeah, so those are some different piping tip techniques. So if you guys don't mind, drop a comment for something that you may have liked. And I'll be sure to put all of those numbers and brands once I'm finished. But thank you guys so much for watching, and you guys have a great rest of your night.